is slugging away at a massive series or even a trilogy. Sometimes you want that 2-book series. As usual, this is a book suggestions video, not reviews. Why is that? If you've already watched my other videos, you'll know that I'm really bad at remembering all the plot lines and characters, and I just have more an idea in the back of my head of what I thought of each book. I will give you the Goodreads scores out of 5. I will read the blurb. We can get to know a little bit about the book, and then you can put a bit more research into it and see if it's something you would like to buy or not. Okay, so Six of Crows. This gets 4.49 on Goodreads. That is super high. I read anything above a 4. If it's in the 3.6 to 4 category, I really need to be gripped by the blurb, or I need someone to suggest it to me. I don't normally want to risk, say, a 3.6 because I buy all my books. Let's read the back of this one. Criminal prodigy Kaz Bareka has been offered a chance at a deadly heist. Break into the ice court, a military stronghold that has never been breached, and retrieve a hostage whose knowledge could change Grisha magic forever. To succeed would mean riches beyond Kaz's wildest dreams, but he can't pull it off alone. A convict with a thirst for revenge, a sharpshooter who can't walk away from a wager, a runaway with a privileged past, a spy known as the Wraith, a heart-render using her magic to survive the slums, a thief with a gift for unlikely escapes, 6 dangerous outcasts, 1 impossible heist. Together, they might just be unstoppable if they don't kill each other first. I do not remember lots about this, which is sad because I should. It's... Okay, I'm gonna cheat. I screenshotted a little review. This review was by Ellie. Ellie Examines on Goodreads. I'll read this pretty quickly. 5 solid stars. This book pulled me in from the beginning. Blah blah blah. There's a creative plot, morally great characters, group dynamics, and banter, which I love in books. If the characters gel together, but each have their own personalities and stuff, that makes for a very happy time for me. There's romance. Tosses you into the main plot from the beginning, keeps you engaged. The book focuses on mind games and clever plotting. Blah blah blah. But yeah, it's character driven, well written. Lee Bardugo has another series. I can't remember if it's made into a TV show called the Shadow and Bone Trilogy. It sounds familiar. But anyway, check that out. 4.49 on Goodreads. Next book suggestions video I do, if you would like it to be soft spoken, so more like this, where I'll talk to you, not in a whisper, but of course not yelling at you either, let me know. I did this in the first ever book reviews video where I spoke quietly. I know some people enjoyed it, some people like the whispering more, But yeah, please, feedback is awesome. I'm always trying to grow the channel, so anything that is beneficial to the channel, but also to you guys, if you feel like this is more calming in a way and enjoyable, I'll be more than happy to do a soft spoken book review. You know what? I'm actually gonna I'll do the next 2 books soft spoken, and then I'm gonna revert back to whispering, and you can see what you enjoy more. So the next one is The Pariah. This is by Anthony Ryan. Anthony Ryan has 4 series out now. I've read them all, and I've found he has really grown as an author throughout each series. The first series was called The Raven's Shadow. The first book in that series is Bloodsoul. I liked it. I feel like the reviews are probably high 3s if I remember correctly. Could be higher, but it was a really good, strong action, 1 main character, I believe, if I remember correctly. Yeah, really good. There's the Draconis Memoria. Now, is that behind me? Yeah, so let's not drop that. I'm just going to show this to you guys, but we'll talk about it in another video. This is really good. The Waking Fire. It's about people that can utilize dragon's blood to give themselves powers, and each dragon, colored dragon, has different powers. It's quite cruel to dragons, but it's really good. There's The Raven's Blade. That's a 2-part book series. I'll talk about that in another series as well. And then there's this one, the latest. This is 4.21 on Goodreads. It's about Elwyn Scribe. Elwyn Scribe starts out in a band of rogues. I'm trying to think. The band is, they're kind of like highwaymen. You know, they rob people and stuff. And he's a scribe in that band, so he's kind of looked after by the leader. He's very clever, and the leader sees that in him, and he's training him up. He then moves on to join the Covenant army. And there's martyrs involved in all of this in the Covenant army. It's all about sort of religion, following the martyr, and going against the royalty, if I remember correctly, but it just keeps getting better and better. Let's read the back. When the task is a killing, be quick and make sure of it. Torment is an indulgence. Save it for only the most deserving. The Pariah begins a ruthless and gripping new fantasy epic from New York Times bestseller Anthony Ryan, blah blah blah. He's a master storyteller, etc. So it doesn't have a huge blurb on the back. It is first person. It just follows him. I've talked about this in the past, but I enjoy a good first person. Sometimes it's nice to not have to be waiting for certain chapters for your favorite characters to come about. Problem about first person is if you don't like the main character too much. I really like him. He's good. He's clever. It's a unique. Unique? I don't know, it's just something I feel like I haven't read for a while. Like, written like this. A gritty, heart-pounding tale of betrayal and bloody vengeance. There's good action. There's some good secondary characters that he interacts with. Some bits will annoy you, maybe. I'm not always a huge fan of religion being involved in books, but this is really well written. And there is the sequel, which is called The Martyr, just above me. The 3rd book is not out yet. Look it up. 4.21 on Goodreads. It's really good. Okay. The next soft-spoken review. Now this, when was it written? And then I'll tell you when I read it. I read it when it came out straight away. This was a copy written and reprinted in 2012. Originally came about in around 2007, it says. 2012. This is Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan, if it wants to focus. So, Michael J. Sullivan wrote 6 books in this series. This is the Ria Revelations. That's how I'm going to say it. He wrote them all before it was published. I believe he brought them out as digital books or ebooks first, maybe. And then when Orbit picked it up, they condensed the 6 into 3. So this is an omnibus. This is 2 books in one. Volume 1, Theft of Swords. I remember really enjoying this. And I can't remember much about it. Classic. Let's have a look. It's 4.22 on Goodreads. We'll read the back, as usual, and we'll go from there. They killed the king, they pinned it on 2 men, but they chose poorly. Royce Melbourne is a talented thief. His partner, Hadrian Blackwater, is a skilled mercenary. Together, they make a profitable living as agents for hire to wealthy nobles, until they become the unwitting scapegoats in a plot to murder the king. And so begins this epic tale of treachery and adventure, sword fighting and magic, myth and legend. Quite a short blurb. Because of that, I have screenshotted a little bit of a review from someone. Since I don't remember much, we can talk about it from there. Let's have a look. I can hear a plane in the background. Theft of Swords. Actually, just the blurb online I have. What did we say here? Yes, not much. What appears to be just a simple job finds them framed for the murder of the king and trapped in a conspiracy that uncovers a plot far greater than the mere overthrow of a tiny kingdom. Yes, I didn't say that, did it? Can a self-serving thief and an idealistic swordsman survive long enough to unravel the first part of an ancient mystery that has toppled kings and destroyed the empire, or empires? So this is a little excerpt from the author. He tells about how the 6 books are put into 3. So this allowed me to weave threads between the books, but I made sure that each title had its own conflict and resolution. My intention was to start small and end big, with the mysteries deepening and the stakes escalating with each book. Rather than front-loading, I purposely spread the world building and character development across the whole series, so there is always something new to learn or discover, until the final revelation, which concludes the series in a very satisfying fashion. So, what we can gather from that, you're not going to get bored. There's always something new. Which I do find very tiresome with a series, is the first book will grip me. I love it. The characters are amazing. There's some great scenes. And then it just seems like a lot of drudgery and plodding along until you get to the final book with the crescendo. It's nice that this book doesn't have that. that there's continually new things happening. I think that makes for a good read. The only thing I don't like is I'm not a fan of photos on the cover of books. It looks quite good, but I like something with a picture, like the Pariah, or, well, I say a picture, like a digital painting, or a more graphic design, like Six of Crows. But for that, it doesn't stand out as much, but the title got me because I love swords in books. So, just to mix this up, like I said, I will do some whispering now. I still might do a soft spoken on the final book. I quite enjoy it. I feel like it puts less pressure on my vocal cords in a way, and it's just nice to mix it up. Sorry if you can hear any talking in the background. We have a full house, and my brother's over from London. You can hear my mother, she's not a quiet talker when on the phone. Oh, I'm trying to think where I just was. I had to pause for a second, it got loud as I was saying. So we'll whisper again for now. The next book is Red Sister, and this is by Mark Lawrence. I read this book in 2020, I believe during lockdown. This is by Mark Lawrence. He wrote a series before this, or maybe a couple, called The Broken Empire. Brutal, bloody, many people dying. He does not hold back. He's like Joe Abercrombie and George R.R. Martin. I really enjoyed Red Sister. I believe I enjoyed it more than Prince of Thorns and stuff from that first trilogy. Let's read the blurb and go from there. It gets 4.17 on Goodreads. I was born for killing. The gods made me to ruin. At the convent of Sweet Mercy girls, at the convent of Sweet Mercy, girls are raised to be killers. Some have inherited old bloods, which bestow upon them special talents. Sweet Mercy owns its novices' skills with care. It takes 10 years to educate a Red Sister in the deadly arts of blade and fist. But even the mistresses of sword and shadow don't fully understand what they have purchased when Nonna Grey is brought to their halls as a child of 8, accused of murder, but guilty of worse. In her short life, Nonna has made powerful enemies, and despite the security and isolation of the convent, her violent past will one day find her out. Nonna must face her demons and become a deadly assassin if she is to survive. This book is done just following Nonna. It's not done in the first person, but in the third, I believe. But yeah, you only follow Nonna throughout the series. It is action-packed. The fights, the different battle scenes are really well done. If I remember correctly, there are some larger scale battles, but it is not Wheel of Time style large battles. They are smaller. Little battles, little fights, but brutal and really well done. That's what Mark Lawrence is known for. And it's upset about that. Not much to say, as usual. When do I ever remember anything? But it's good. Simple as that. It is good. It is really good. And I kept trying to lend this book to people because of how much I enjoyed it. It was one of those instant, I read it. Here, take it. Who wants it? Like, please, someone read it. It's so good. Talk to me about it. My friend Patrick, I think I talked him into reading this and he loved it. Okay. Jeez, today is just noisy in the background for me. Really hope it doesn't all come through. So I showed this in the book triggers video I did a few weeks ago. So I thought I would review it. Joe Abercrombie, The Blade Itself. I was recommended this by my friend Matt, whom I haven't seen for many years in one of my acting classes, I would say back in 2014. So it's been about 10 years since I've read this. Much like Mark Lawrence, whom we just spoke about, Joe Abercrombie is known for being brutal. Lots of battles, fight scenes, ruthlessness. So also by Joe Abercrombie, the first law before they are hanged. So I'm not sure before this is book 1 of the first law. So that must be the second book before they hanged. Yeah. So The Blade Itself. This is 4.21 on Goodreads. I'm just checking. I don't really have much written down. It had over 200,000 reviews. So it's been reviewed many times. I'm sure if you're watching this video that you're a fantasy fan probably. You've probably heard or read of this. Tell me what you thought of the series. I am due to reread it. The First Law, Book 1. Logan Ninefingers, infamous barbarian, has finally run out of luck. Caught up in one feud too many, he's about to become a dead barbarian, leaving nothing behind but bad songs and dead friends. Jezal Dan Luther, paragon of selfishness, has nothing more dangerous in mind than winning glory in the fencing circle. But war is brewing, and on the battlefields in the frozen north, they fight by altogether bloodier rules. Inquisitor Glocta, cripple turned torturer, would like little better than to see Jezal come home in a box, but then he hates everyone. Cutting treason out of the heart of the Union one confession at a time leaves little room for friendships, and his latest trail of corpses could lead straight to the rotten heart of government, if he can just stay alive long enough to follow it. Then it's the classic praise for the First Law trilogy. Breathtaking moments, great characters, and grim laughs make this a cut above your average fantasy. Another one says great characters, sparky dialogue, and action-packed plot. I love that. From the opening scene that is literally a cliffhanger, you know you are in for a cheeky, vivid, exhilarating ride. There you go. I remember it as bloody, swordplay, dangerous characters. Yeah, give it a go. I haven't read anything Okay, so let's finish with one more book. This is The Red Knight by Miles Cameron. Itchy nose. So you may recognize the name Miles Cameron if you've read this series, or you watched my previous suggestions video where I spoke about Cold Iron. Now, I had a lot of good things to say about Cold Iron. I said that Miles Cameron's character development had improved, and his writing. I still really enjoyed this series, and that's why I am suggesting it to you. So this is a quintet, and there's 5 books. I'm trying to think if it improves or stays the same. I would say it doesn't get worse. I would say it improves. It's a 4.10 on Goodreads, which is a really good review. Review score. Let's read from the back, and we'll go from there. $28 florins a month is a huge price to pay for a man to stand between you and the wild. 28 florins a month is nowhere near enough when a wyvern's jaws snap shut on your helmet in the hot stink of battle and the beast starts to rip the head from your shoulders. But if standing and fighting is hard, leading a company of mercenaries against the smart, deadly creatures of the wild is even harder. The Red Knight is the man to do it, and he's determined to turn a profit. So when he hires his company out to protect an abbess and her nunnery, it's just another job. The abbey is rich, the nuns are pretty, and the monster preying on them is nothing he can't deal with. Only it's not just a job, it's going to be war. Then it says this series promises to be a standout epic fantasy for the ages. So doing a little bit of research on Miles Cameron. He has a degree in medieval history. That really helps in this book. It is a great look into medieval life and how people went about things. I did one lesson on medieval history in university, found out there was an exam involved, and I went and saw the course coordinator and changed my course. I'm not one to do exams. That was my brief touch into medieval history. I took a little screenshot just to get a better idea on this series. The Red Knight, captain of the mercenaries that travel land looking for people to protect and all kinds of baddies to kill. We like that. It contains a lot of characters, this book, a compelling magic system, and all kinds of mythical creatures and monsters to satisfy almost any fantasy lover. Magic system is quite fascinating. I can't even remember it. It is referred to as hermetics or hermetical magic. When a mage or witch casts a spell, it is called a phantasm. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so that's just a review by, I don't even have the reviewer's name. Let's get back from that. Look, I'm going to tell you what I remember. It goes from small and gets bigger, as it says. You know, he's just a guy with part of a band that kills wyverns. And then they get pulled into a plot to save the world, essentially. He has some sort of magical ability. I can't even remember exactly what. There's definitely multiple characters. Someone's review said that Miles Cameron shopped between characters too much, and so the book slowed down and couldn't flow as well as it should have. I would maybe agree, because I found the flow of Cold Iron a lot better, and yet I found this to be a grower. So when I said at the start, does the series get better or go across or whatever, I would say this is the rare case where it gets better with age. I find a lot of books, like a lot of movies, the first is my favourite, because it's creating the picture, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy envisaging a new world and learning new characters, and then once I'm already in that world, the author has to work harder to keep me in it. I would say this is the opposite. The more you read, the more you get invested, and the more you want to continue. So, give it a go. See if your local library has it. I will put the links, like I've been doing recently, to Amazon. You're more than welcome to buy it on there. But a local library to save you money, to see if you like the series, or a secondhand bookshop would be a great way to semi-trust me and give it a go without using all your money. But I really enjoyed it. I think my friend Patrick, who's probably my biggest fantasy reading friend, didn't like it as much. I think he tried book 1 and I think he got to the point where he should have continued and didn't, and it would have gotten better. But the action is good and the characters are pretty good. There's one or two you might not like, but just look it up. As I said, I'm not great at remembering everything. I read too much a year to retain all the information. But as a book suggestion, I still rate it as a good one. What did you think of my book triggers video? I can't remember if it did well or not. I'm having a mental blank. The channel has slowed down a bit lately. Yeah, I hope you guys are still enjoying everything. I start a new job next Monday as a production assistant in visual effects, which is super exciting. It might mean that videos are a bit slower to come out, and also I'm not going to be able to do subtitles for a while because I'm going to be really busy, but I'm going to try my best to continually upload 2 videos a week. If it slows down now and then, I do apologize. Learning a new job is always mentally time consuming, so we'll see how much free time I have on my hands and how much homework I need to do, etc. These are definitely some of my favorite videos to do. I do love my books, and I love sharing them with you and you guys sharing books that you enjoy with me. I'll probably do some more simple trigger videos. I find them really relaxing and not mentally draining thinking up stuff, so that'll probably happen. For now, that's all. Let me know what you thought of the soft spoken. I like the idea of it. I listen to unintentional ASMR. That's a really good channel. I think there's multiple channels, but I find that it can be very calming, and so I thought I would try that with you guys and see if it ticked a box. Of course, unintentional ASMR isn't specifically what I'm doing, because they're not trying. They're talking about maybe a camera and how to use it, or how to make a pair of shoes, or how something works. But yeah, let me know what you think of soft spoken. I am going to do a cut. Sorry, the memory card filled up. I will do a camera video at some point where I will teach you guys some photography steps and rules and tricks and stuff. But for now, that's all. Have a lovely night. Or a lovely day. I hope you enjoyed this video. And thank you so much for being a part of my channel and conversing with me. I love your comments. I really do.